Live from the KMOV Broadcast Center in downtown St. Louis, this is News 4 at noon. Watching out for you.
First at noon, thousands of St. Louisans are still without power as last night's storms ripped through neighborhoods, toppled trees, and damaged power lines. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 4 at noon. I'm Maurice Drummond in for Claire Kellett. The big story across the St. Louis area right now is the cleanup that's underway. Last night's storms led to power outages across the bi-state. This is video from Glendale, where downed limbs knocked out power in this neighborhood. And last night's powerful storms packed very high winds, which knocked down trees and damaged buildings. Tens of thousands right now still without power in our area right now. Ameren, Missouri is reporting about 26,000 customers still in the dark, but they have restored power to 65,000 homes as well as businesses. More than 700 crews are working around the clock right now to try to get power back on after those severe storms knocked over trees and power poles. Ameren says that it's really unrealistic to think right now that everyone will get power restored by the end of the day. And just as school was about to start, the storm damaged a school in Warren County. The strong winds tearing off this roof that you see right here. This is at Daniel Boone Elementary in Warrington. A first responder telling us last night that there is major damage to that school. But first, new video into our newsroom. This from O'Fallon, Missouri. Check this out. Wow, a tree falling on a cable company worker. Danny Gitmeyer sharing this video with us. He says that luckily he heard the worker and was able to actually run and get the branches off of him so he could wiggle out of there. The worker was shaken up, but he was able to get back to his truck. Our News 4 crews checking out a number of streets that close with trees down in the Webster Groves area as well. News 4's Damon Arnold joins us live from Webster Groves where people are cleaning up today. How's it looking out there right now, Damon?
Man, Maurice, it's messy out here today. I'm just off of North 4th Street here in Webster Groves. You can see this huge white oak has snapped in half. It's been over in, again, their neighbor's yard. You can see there's a camper behind this tree that narrowly missed it. And we're told by the owner here, who says she's normally home early. She was at the grocery store when all this unfolded, but she has her neighbors out here helping as well. We've also seen some cleaning crews trying to get trees up in other areas of this neighborhood as well. Now, again, as I just mentioned to you, we did see crews come out cleaning up with her. Also, we seen she tells us that she was at the grocery store and she got a photo from her neighbor, and that neighbor told her that the tree was down and it was pretty bad, but she said she didn't think it was that bad until she got home. And then when she saw it, she was in complete disbelief. But she says many hands make a light load today. That's how she phrased it as they came out to help her clean up.
It's been 3 or 4 months of this constant. You can see branches down in the other neighbors' yards, and we've all been dealing with this for a few months. You know, the trees are great in Webster, but when they're old and they start falling, it's pretty disastrous. But they're all hanging in there. Great neighbors, great neighborhood, and so we'll get through it.
Now, we're still surveying this neighborhood. We hear that some other neighbors may have had some damage, so we're going to see if we can talk to them, and we'll keep you updated with the recovery process happening here in this neighborhood. I'm reporting live in Webster Groves. Damon Arnold, News 4.
All right, Damon, thank you very much. Big cleanup ahead almost everywhere around here as we check in with meteorologist Kristen Cornett. And Kristen, I'll tell you what, it was a rough night, but are we turning a corner?
Yeah, I mean, the severe weather threat for St. Louis is certainly over. Things have been very quiet all day. I know I'll be heading home after the show to clean up my yard. I lost power. I hear it's back on now, though. Thank you, Ameren. Let me show you what's going on. SKYTRACKER Doppler radar shows we are dry across the News 4 viewing area. There's a few showers and thunderstorms in southeast Missouri. Outside of our area right now in St. Louis, we've got partly cloudy skies. We're up to 85. Check out the dew point at 69. So it is still muggy. Yes, it's cooler, but the humidity is still high. The cold front has not moved through yet. Temperatures around the rest of the area, everybody in the 80s right now, from 80 in Litchfield to 86 in Glen Carbon. It's 83 in Eureka. So as that cold front moves through this afternoon, I expect it to trigger some more isolated to scattered showers, perhaps a few thunderstorms. This is not going to be widespread. I think many of you will stay dry, but just know the possibility of that rain exists through the afternoon hours, and then we'll be dry this evening. We're going to time out that rain chance for you and look at a really nice weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, Kristen, we'll see you soon. Police say that a Webster Groves homeowner shot and killed a man who was trying to break into his home. This happening shortly after 3 a.m. this morning at Grant Road and Conover Lane. That's between I-44 and Watson Road. We're told that the suspect was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Police say the homeowner shot the suspect with a shotgun after he refused to leave his home. Well, this morning, a federal judge ruled that the CDC eviction moratorium can remain in place. This says the Biden administration is sending $8.5 billion to rural health care providers who are dealing with a new surge in new cases of the virus. CBS's Skylar Henry is at the White House for the latest on the Delta variant and the fight over masks and vaccines.
The surge of the Delta variant is putting a strain on hospital capacities. In the Houston, Texas area, a little more than 24 ICU beds are available for a region of more than 6.5 million people.
We're back in the throes of things as if we were in another, wave of the pandemic before the vaccination rollout.
In Broward County, Florida, 4 teachers in the same school district all died of COVID this week.
It's extremely frightening. I mean, I hear this every day.
Just this week, Broward County voted to institute a mask mandate in their schools, defying Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' order of banning mask and vaccine mandates. A Florida judge is holding a hearing today from parents suing the state to overturn the governor's order.
President Biden praised the local leaders for challenging the executive orders of the governors of Florida, Texas, and 5 other states. He said their pushback is saving lives.
Thank God that we have heroes like you, and I stand with you all, and America should as well.
Students at Indiana University will have to be vaccinated to attend classes this fall, as Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett rejected an appeal from some students opposed to the mandate. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
News 4 is your school authority, and we continue to track districts' decisions on masks. Francis Howe just updated its policies pointing to the Delta variant. All students in 6th grade and under must wear a mask while inside. Teachers of those grades will also wear a mask when they cannot socially distance. So masks are strongly encouraged for students in 7th grade and higher. The district will revisit the policy next month. Some around the St. Louis area are still dealing with COVID symptoms months after they tested positive. It's called long COVID, and it's something that the vaccine may not even prevent.
Certainly, if you get vaccinated and you get a breakthrough infection, you can get long COVID. We don't have enough data in that to say if it's the same kind of risk of getting long COVID of others. But it is likely it would be less because you got a good deal of protection from your vaccine.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says that children can also get long COVID, but the risk is significantly lower than in an adult. We've also heard the term long hauler to describe those who are still experiencing COVID symptoms. News 4 has been hearing from people around the St. Louis area about the severe impact, which has even forced one person to retire early.
I was having palpitations and arrhythmias and such shortness of breath, it actually felt like I was running on a treadmill, just walking around the bed of my patient.
Michelle Wilson was a nurse at Barnes. She had a mild case of COVID-19 in November, but when she returned to work, she had shortness of breath, lots of fatigue, and it put Michelle in the hospital on oxygen for 3 days.
It's not a fun thing to be on the other side, I discovered. I'm somebody who's never really been sick all my life. You know, I've been very active. I work 12-hour shifts. I, bike, and I've just had a very active lifestyle.
Even though vaccinated people may still get long COVID, doctors still say that getting the shot is still the best way to reduce your risk of contracting it, as there's no treatment for those symptoms once you develop it. COVID-19 impacting emergency services in our area.
That's a serious issue. A serious issue. Just like life or death.
News 4 watching out for you, some calling it life or death. Well, the St. Louis Fire Department calls it a perfect storm. The reasons about why half their ambulance services are out right now. Stay with us here on News 4 at noon. It's 12:08 p.m.
This is News 4, watching out for you.
Welcome back. The St. Louis Fire Department is working to fix an ambulance shortage that's going on in the city right now. The city of St. Louis only has a total of 8 or 9 ambulances operating at this time right now. That number should really be closer to 20. The city's fire chief, Dennis Jenkerson, says that the situation has really turned into a perfect storm. You got a combination of ambulances getting into crashes, maintenance taking longer than expected. The number of emergency calls have also increased, and there's also been a shortage of staff. Well, Jenkerson says that COVID-19 has really had a trickle-down effect.
My biggest concern right now is being able to respond to the true traumas, the people who really need us quickly, and being able to transport them to the hospital.
The chief is asking the city for an additional 8 ambulances, and he says he needs them fast. They're also working to fill 18 paramedic positions.
We still could see a few showers and thunderstorms today as a cold front slowly moves through. It's going to drop the humidity, finally. Nice looking weekend forecast ahead. I'll have the details coming up.
Also, here is your fun fact for today. Today, by the way, is International Left-Handers Day. So in honor of this big day, why is a left-handed baseball pitcher called a southpaw? Well, your answer is coming up right here on News 4 at noon. We'll be right back, but first, here's today's local steals and deals.
Hey everybody, did you know that the #1 cause of accidents is distracted driving? I think we all know that because we've all been distracted when something drops down in between the seat and the console and we start going for it, right? It's instinct. Oh my gosh, you're driving, there's your phone, boom, you go for it, not realizing if you're down here, you're not looking at the road. Well, one of the best ideas ever is the drop stop. This was actually one of the top 10 biggest ideas of all time on Shark Tank, and it grew out of one of the inventors having that same experience. He dropped something down, he went for it, there was an accident, it could have been really bad, and he said, wait a minute, I can create something so that never happens again. This is made with neoprene, it's machine washable, it works in every single car, and you simply put it down in between the seat and the console. The bottom of the seatbelt comes up right through here, and you're never going to drop anything down there again. It's just one of those things. There is a law of physics that anything you drop in a car goes where you can't reach it. Now that will never happen. So think about your kids, right? They're in the car, they're driving. If you have this in their car, they're not going to be distracted reaching for something. Your parents aren't going to be distracted reaching for something if this is in their car. You're not going to be distracted reaching for something if this is in your car. Right now on localsteals.com, we have a very special offer on a set of 2. And if there's one thing we all want, it's for everyone we love to be safe.
And welcome back. Today is Friday the 13th. Yes, a day associated with bad luck. Many think it's related to biblical history. Of course, during the Last Supper, the 13th guest to arrive was Judas, who would betray Jesus. And the crucifixion took place on a Friday. But it wasn't until the 20th century that the superstition really took off. Back in 1907, a writer paired the two together in a book where superstitions led to the market crashing, and then, of course, in the 1980s, Friday the 13th, the movie was made with Jason, the hockey mask killer. Well, despite its recent popularity, most Americans aren't buying into it. A recent poll of YouGov, it said 52% of folks said that Friday the 13th, definitely was not unlucky, while 28% say it's probably not unlucky. Only 11% really believe that it's definitely an unlucky day. Hey, as we told you before the top of the newscast, thousands of folks right now still without power in the St. Louis metro area. This is from mid-St. Louis County cities of Kirkwood, Glendale, and Webster Groves. Ameren telling us that the damage that we're seeing with the storm was primarily due to the high winds and large trees and branches, of course, getting thrown all over the place. As Kristen's here for a look at the forecast, it almost seems like the storm took all of our attention away from that severe heat we were getting. Not even thinking about that anymore.
Yeah, all the storm reports were wind damage reports. No hail reports, no tornado reports, every bit wind damage. And fortunately, it's cooler today for those people that don't have air conditioning. I know I didn't have any last night when my power was out for something like 12 hours.
It
came back on. Let me show you what's going on across the area right now. So here's the thing. The cold front did trigger those storms last night, but the front hasn't actually moved through yet. It's coming, just pretty slow. That front's going to sag south this afternoon, and as it does, it could trigger a few more showers and storms. St. Louis, not worried about severe weather for you, okay? But just some garden variety thunderstorms. Nothing widespread, nothing particularly strong. Just know that that's a possibility, looking at about a 40% chance this afternoon. Now, if you're in southeastern Missouri, the green highlighted area, so roughly Farmington South, there's a level 1 risk that we could get a couple of strong storms that could produce some damaging winds. Again, it's a very low threat, but it's not zero. Again, St. Louis not included. No more severe weather for us. So as far as the humidity goes, it is still humid because the front hasn't come through. After it comes through tonight, it gets a lot better. So today we're still very muggy out there, but it drops a lot. Tomorrow you will notice a significant difference. So it bottoms out on Saturday and then it gradually climbs as we move into the week, but it's still not going to be anywhere near the intense heat and humidity we had in recent days. If your allergies are bothering you today, check out the molds. They've popped up into the very high category. Weeds and grasses are moderate, trees are absent, and your ozone air quality forecast for today is in the yellow moderate category. So outside right now, we've got partly to mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the low to mid 80s, which is below average for this time of year. Our average high is about 89. Check out the super predictor. This afternoon, a few spotty showers and storms expected to pop up. Again, not widespread, not everybody gets them, but we'll have to keep an eye on the possibility of some stronger storms over southeastern Missouri later this evening into tonight. Could have a little lingering rain into southeastern Missouri early tomorrow morning, and then all that moves out and the rest of your weekend is dry too. So for today at 3 p.m., about a 30% chance of rain. By 6 p.m., we're down to only a 20% chance of rain. And then tonight it's dry. By 9 p.m., we're partly cloudy, 79 degrees. The humidity goes down, down, down overnight. Tomorrow morning is going to feel amazing compared to recent days. I'm forecasting a high of 86, so a few degrees below average. But the humidity being so much lower is probably going to make it feel even a little bit cooler than that maybe. Looking ahead to Sunday, sunny skies, the high 84. By the way, check out these morning temperatures in the 60s. That's going to be real nice. On Monday, we're still pretty mild for this time of year with a high of only 84, but the humidity may be starting to creep back up just a little bit. And then on Tuesday, we have a 30% chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Looking at the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies each day. Some low chances of a few isolated showers or storms each day. And also notice the temperatures, particularly on Wednesday and Thursday, they're back up around average for this time of year. You know, after all, it is still August. But in the meantime, the lower heat and humidity just in time for the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't have planned that any better.
Not bad.
Enjoy. Take advantage.
No more severe weather.
We'll do our best.
At least this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we'll get him out of here.
At least this weekend.
Exactly. All right, Kristen, thanks a lot. All right, folks, we're going to be right back with the answer to your fun fact. Today is International Left-Handers Day. And in honor of this big day, why is a left-handed baseball pitcher called a southpaw? That answer is coming up right after the break as we try to put a cap on News 4 at noon. As you take a look right there, that is the morning skyline. And yeah, that was from downtown. And a little bit of fog that hovered over the city after the storm. This coming from Drone 4, as always, powered by Renewal by Anderson. We'll be right back.
Mom claims her model student daughter
I do not vape anymore.
I found her vaping on her own phone.
is a Jekyll and Hyde.
She sneaks a boy into the house, then gets high and drove into a ditch.
Marissa has stolen my car at least 9 times.
If I looked at half of your resume, you are very impressive. If I looked at the other half, I'd put the cuffs on you.
Next, Dr. Phil.
All right, time now for answer to your fun fact. Today is International Left-Handers Day. So in honor of this special day, yeah, for all left-handers, why is a left-handed pitcher called a southpaw? Well, here's your answer. Since home plate is generally in the southwest corner, to avoid the glare in the batter's eyes, a southpaw's pitching hand is to the south. So supposedly, late 19th century ballparks were laid out so that the pitcher looked into a westerly direction when facing the batter. So a left-handed boxer is often called a southpaw. So a big shout out to all of you lefties out there. Hey, thanks for joining us for News 4 at noon, everybody. We're back a little bit later for News 4 at 4 o'clock. Hey, enjoy your weekend.
Thanks for watching KMOV News 4. Watch us live wherever you are on our mobile, on our streaming news app. And you can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. This is your News 4 update, powered by the Bomarito Automotive Group.
Thanks for choosing News 4, everyone. I'm Maurice Drummond. Here are some stories making headlines. Last night's storms led to power outages across the bi-state. This is video from Glendale, where you see downed limbs and power was knocked out in this neighborhood. Last night's powerful storms packed very high winds, which knocked down trees and damaged buildings. Tens of thousands of people are still without power in our area, and right now, Ameren, Missouri is reporting about 26,000 customers that are still in the dark, but they have restored power to 65,000 homes and businesses, and more than 700 crews are working around the clock to get the power back on after those severe storms knocked over trees and power poles. Ameren says that it's pretty unrealistic at this point to think that everyone will get their power restored by the end of the day. And just as school was about to start, the storm damaged a school here in Warren County. The strong winds tearing off a roof here at Daniel Boone Elementary School in Warrenton. A first responder telling us last night that there is major damage done to that school. But first, here's some video into our newsroom. And yeah, this is from O'Fallon, Missouri. A tree falling on a cable company worker. Wow. Danny Gittmeyer, he shared this video with us. He says luckily that he heard the worker and was able to run off and try to get that branch off of him so he could wiggle out. The worker was definitely shaken up, but he was able to get to his truck. Time now for a check of your forecast. Here's Kristen.
You might have noticed it's cooler today, but it's still muggy. The cold front hasn't actually moved through. That's going to happen later this afternoon and into this evening. It'll slowly drop through the area. So the result is we still have a chance for a few more scattered showers, a few thunderstorms. Not worried about anything severe in the St. Louis area. The afternoon high about 87 degrees, and yes, still muggy, but that'll change overnight as some drier air works its way into the area. I do want to mention, if you're in southeastern Missouri, far southern Illinois, we're talking south of the St. Louis metro here, there's a low threat that storms later this afternoon into the evening could potentially become strong, producing some damaging winds. So we'll keep an eye on that. As far as your forecast then for the next several days, tomorrow looks really nice. Mostly sunny, less humid, a high of 86. Sunday, sunny and 84. 84 on Monday as well. We start to see the humidity begin to creep back up. And then we have some off and on rain chances for the rest of the week as temperatures return to more seasonable, or I should say more August levels. The humidity returning to more August levels as well.
That's your News 4 update. Remember, they were always online on CamelV.com as well as your CamelV News app. Have a good week.